Halo semuanya, selamat siang. Halo, halo Wardana Arik. Udah mulai. Paling nih chatku di sini nih rada delay kayaknya.
Huh. How can I smash all these training dummies at once?
Ini gimana caranya?
Jean's sword fighting is so much better
Cascade.
than this. So that's how to do it.
Sekedar info kalau kalian donate sekarang udah bisa pakai link YouTube coy. hanya info.
Cascade.
Aduh.
Be still.
Wih, ada Faiz coy. Halo Faiz, selamat datang.
I may have overestimated myself. Cascade.
Off we go.
Cascade.
Everybody stand back.
Be still. Cascade.
Resinku penuh coy.
Add ast. Thank you for.
There's a strange
Add ast.
your voice. When you're high up, everyone can hear your voice.
Ini kan udah nih. Gak usah deh. Sekarang abisin resinnya buat Crimson Hutau lah. Masih jelek coy Hutauku nih. Crit rate aja masih 57. Kurang apa ini? Nah ini apa ini? Jelek. Kalau bisa tuh ini nih. Nih udah 2 nih.
Kamisato Ayaka, present. May knowledge guide you.
All is accounted for. Let's move out.
Rain cutter. No, my sword. Take flight. Whirling snow. Sakura swirl. My apologies. Witness the power of Guwa. Rain outlines your fate. Whirling snow.
Rest and rebuild.
My apologies.
Oh, ini boleh nih. Aduh.
No, my sword! Rain outlines your fate. Witness the power of Guhua. Rest and rebuild! Take flight! Kamisato art! Sumetsu!
Wangi. Nggak juga sih.
Rain cutter! Rain outlines your fate.
Be still.
Mantap.
My apologies. Take flight.
Saya butuh circlet. Kalau enggak ya jam. Aduh, apa ini? Kenapa masih di sini ya ampun. Ya iyalah.
Witness the power of Guhua. Know my sword. Rain outlines your fate. Allow me. My apologies. Embrace the ice. Let me weave you a verse. Know my sword. Rain outlines your fate.
Be still.
Take flight.
Alah. One more time.
Witness the power of Guhua. Know my sword. Hold the line. My apologies. Kamisato art. Sumetsu. Let me read you a verse. Rain outlines your fate.
Cascade.
Witness the power of Guhua.
Aduh. Ya boleh lah. Tadi yang bagus tuh. Oh, bunganya. Nah, oh ini ding. Aduh, nggak ada crit rate. Ya udahlah. Ya kemarin dapat jam ini. Aduh, R nih kalau attack person nih bagus nih. Oke. Banyak yang sekarang itu apa ya? Oh ini. Ya kayak gini. Oke, sekarang kita story aja lah. Halo, in-game name. Welcome, welcome. Kalau mau donate udah ada ini ya. Apa namanya tuh? Bisa pakai link YouTube. Nah, sekedar promosi. Cuma like coy. Turun dulu. Nah, sip.
Uncle Tien, we're here to chat with you.
Oh? What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Hoishin, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper to make us a... I heard that you've been traveling all over the place recently. I would very much like to hear your adventure stories. Hoishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry, I'm quite all right. It's just... as I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, I am still...
How difficult is it?
Oh, well, you see, the Tianshu is, historically speaking, the Tianshu rare. We also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates free from influence by outside forces, so we tend to be as discreet. For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this is then approved by...
So in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Kuching, Lady Ningguang, and the other Qixing appoint them?
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I won't be able to assess every... Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as assessment of...
Oh?
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to forget all about...
It's Yuan!
Jackpot. Uncle Tian here
Hello.
asked me to assess 3 candidates for him. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu. Might be a good opportunity for you. All right then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tian, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the covert variety, too.
Huh? Yelan, you want to be the
I'm not opposed to the idea. So, how about this? If your investigation reveals...
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until then... Oh, and... You're all set?
Uncle Tian seems really worn down. It's like all his energy.
Yeah, it may sound harsh, but Uncle Tian is past his prime. He's not... So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their name... Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs. Try to keep all that in mind.
Qianwei, Mingbo, Zhiyi. Paimon should be able to remember their names, but
Let's leave that until we get to Yue. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much...
got it. We'll keep our eyes wide open.
Wih, satu-satu lagi.
I only wish life could be as leisurely as this a little more often. How greedy of me.
Yep. Lanjut. Woi, ya ampun. Kocak. Tiba-tiba cutscene loh.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this
Bodoh.
assessment officer? This is a huge... I've dealt with all kinds of people and...
Oh,
That's called being...
oh, come on. All right, you two. Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for. And Mingbo, cut him some
Siapa
slack.
ini?
Look, how about this?
Selalu
There's no rule
usaha.
saying we're obliged to stand.
Fine.
Lagi kos jadi nggak bisa kop dulu.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. I've split it into 2 stages. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. Writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Wow. One of them is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change. There's still some time. I'll be waiting off to the side.
Oh, untung nggak mati. Ya ampun, ya ampun.
Finished, huh? What did you think?
Everyone took it very serious.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. Nobody wants to have any regrets. That's for me to know and you to... We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh? So you two are the assessment officers, are you? I had assumed that given the great import of... I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp. It was written with...
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, with your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concept.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days. My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Paimon, or is he not very...
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there.
Oh, hello.
Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous. What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your question.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Frontal.
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from, but I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto is the conclusion of these efforts. Of course, 2 different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach 2...
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the...
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the UID Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. Post-implement, if it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take
Nice answer. All right, next.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical and...
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Qianwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent ideas in his manifesto, which effectively... But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about other people. Mingbo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's meticulous in his work, But he and Qianwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingbo is not very articulate and comes across as very timid.
Perfect summary! Paimon couldn't agree more!
Last but not least, JOKI. His manifesto is full of pertinent details, his methodology is sound, and his proposal, the depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's. Having someone like JOKI take the position would certainly put Uncle Tien's mind at rest.
Great!
We'll see. Let's go back.
Oke, ngelapor. Kelewatan, lupa.
I see. Then it's more or less...
All right, then let me ask this.
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates, for fear of affecting your judgment. But I can tell you now. Those 3 candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural. But Qianwei went on to focus on his business, and Mingbo has always been occupied with his work at the ministry.
Whoa! So how did you get to...
Qianwei was referred to me by an old... We first met... Jury came from... He reminded me of a younger version of
Nih,
myself.
story questnya
So
lebih
I
ke
started
arah
out giving
bantuin
him a few
buat
words of
nentuin
advice when we were out
Genshin yang
fishing
baru
and
doang.
noticed how quickly
Bukan
he got
story
on.
jalannya coba. Aneh emang.
Quite.
Jadi
And
babu.
now the young are
I don't know, Uncle.
Oh, you.
Sounds like you.
Ooh, this.
Fresh fish soup. Mmm.
Doesn't it? Also, when we've been fishing recently, that flavor makes for a fond memory.
Ooh, combine.
Let's get back to the matter at hand. Uncle T.
Mm-hmm. I appointed. Had you not asked me why Jury's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention this decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Remember, you must be thorough.
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tian. Look after. So it's gonna be his manifesto was written.
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time limit for this assessment.
Huh? So are you gonna?
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest
Ya, agen
themselves.
intel.
The truth is almost... For example... Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes?
Wih, nongol dari mana ya orang?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Who are they?
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan and Shanghua. They work for me. As my trusted assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. They also perform various assignments as required. Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth. And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Is he all right? I seem to remember that he...
Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and waves.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's work.
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Jury?
Ji.
Zhi. Well, obviously, as the most promising candidate, we will be Let's go to the dock.
If we're looking for him, he does business at the North Wharf.
Lanjut ke mana? Oh, main jauh.
What's Polite doing here today?
Look, your asking price for this batch is just too high.
Bolai.
I can't buy in at this price. How am I...
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of since I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet.
Even so...
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't... If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead. And neither of...
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I'll accept your ask. Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsetias are mine. I got to them first. Don't get any ideas.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy.
Jerry? Yes, he's quite well known. I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. His parents died when he was young, and he was treated cruelly by the local community. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Jerry never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he even helped support the family. He returned cruelty with kindness. Injustice with peace off.
He sounds like a decent man. We can find him.
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't
The business.
looking for a... Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the... Ah, that's Jerry right over...
Where? Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Lean Long. Come on, let's try not to let him see you. We want this information.
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this.
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
What's the hurry? Don't get too close, or he'll see you.
Duh, masa ketahuan sih? Aneh.
Try not to let him see you.
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
My friend, what can I get?
So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a
Yeah.
connoisseur, so I
Ketahuan.
won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine who likes to have a drink.
What's the hurry?
Si
Don't get
kocak
too
gini
close,
aja bisa
or he'll
tahu
see
loh
you.
dia. Tuh, aneh banget emang ya. Ada ngulang lagi kocak.
Try not to let him.
I understand. Let's walk and talk. So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a
Lama
connoisseur,
weh,
so I
cepat.
won't bother
Ngomongnya
trying to
cepat
con
sana.
you. I
Jalan,
trust
jalan,
you
jalan.
understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine who likes to have a drink now and then. He fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance.
Turun,
So I
turun.
thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Thank you very much, Miss Linlong.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
Ayo jalan. Wih, kebo deh. Oh, udah.
Juri seems to get along really well with everyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan? Seems like
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. Let's go check.
do we have? Wait,
Maybe I am. You'll be able to try all the finest food for free.
we will? Well, come on!
Dengan teori ancaman. Tenaga mana? Ini jauh amat.
All tasks have been handed out. How
Oke.
relaxing.
Sebelum lanjutin, aku mau asar dulu ya guys ya. Jadi stay tune aja. Bye. Nanti lagi. Oke, saya kembali. Bentar. Bisa dipencet. Oke, saya kembali. Bentar. Nah, yep.
How relaxing. A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems. All tasks have been handed out. Ah, how relaxing.
Who's that skulking
As I gaze out upon the sea,
Oke, lanjut.
prose wells up inside of me. So this is a day in the life of the traveler. I'm learning more about you all the time.
The wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers. Let's see what Uncle Soon has.
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
Sorry to interrupt. We're actually members of the Liyue Anglers Association, and
Asosiasi
we just wanted to
Pemancing.
ask a few questions about someone. We've heard about this young man called JOKI, who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman.
Whoa! Yeon made up a whole fake identity without batting an eyelid.
Ah, yes, Jury. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they go they meet someone who's heard of him. Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside his studies to make... How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, if there's anything to that logic, he's sure to be phenomenally successful one day.
Yeah, we think so.
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for it.
Oh? Why is...
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some...
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to right now, though, so... Why don't I come back some other time and...
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Kok dia sih? Ini bisa kah? Oh, bisa.
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000. You better hurry when they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price Research. We'd just like...
Wow, she switched.
Society for Fish Price Research?
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a simple survey. We've heard about a certain JOKI who's been selling fresh fish at
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Oh? What?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. He was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he had a bandage wrapped around his head. And he managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But still to this day, he doesn't... I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others over just a few mora. So, I wouldn't be surprised to find out he's... It's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once, briefly, and I just had a feeling that he really cares what other people think of him. I think he has pretty low self-esteem, but hey, it's hard. Nobody's perfect.
I see. Well...
Not a problem. And...
The more times you...
Ayo cepat. Wih, kakek-kakek.
Hey, it's you
Oh,
guys.
bocil.
What's the phrase?
Ku kira
Oh, yeah.
kakek-kakek, ternyata
Honored
bocil.
to meet you. What brings you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial art.
Really?
But of
Siapa ini?
course, we also heard that
Meng.
Master Dugu is a
Maafkan
kind
aku,
and
Meng. Aku
virtuous swordsman
lagi
who
Arjun Quest, Meng.
So what do you wish to know?
Arjun Quest lagi. Story Quest.
So, Master
Bohongin.
Dugu,
Anak
have
bocil.
you heard of one by the name of
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are I've heard many tales of jury. For example, probably because it's nothing that important. I prefer stories about
Oh, I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this.
Oh yeah, I know that. It was about two. Before that, people always used to talk about jury in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But sometimes he gives me candies. So I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
Just as I thought.
Huh? What do you...
I mean, just as I thought,
I'm not that... Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've never seen before talking about jury stories in the street. They seem like nice people.
Oh, definitely.
Great! So next time I see them, I'll say hi. And...
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also...
Thank you, ma'am!
You're welcome. Well then, fare thee well, Master Dugu.
Until we meet again.
Semoga kita berjodoh. Sip.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? Juyi seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Soon and...
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from?
Sudden? Too good?
So he returns cruelty with kindness, and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well known in their hometown. But Uncle Soon said even his friends who travel far and wide hear about him wherever they go. That's a little over the top if you... Do you remember what Dugu Shuo said about Jur'i's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. But beyond that, Plus, there's the fact that all this praise of Jur'i has only been happening within the last 2 or 3 months. His childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor. None of these are recent events.
When When you put it like that.
Of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any. JOKI was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there is within the rules of the game as far as I'm concerned. The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned he's either spent on studying, traveling, or paying off debts. I don't think he has the mora to pay for a publicity campaign. Right. And that changes everything. It can mean a powerful faction is trying to gain influence over the Liu. That's the worst case scenario. But all too often, the most pessimistic speculation turns out to...
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing? That sounds serious. Even if we asked Jiri about it, surely there's no way he'd...
First, we need to find out who's supporting him.
Sponsor.
I've got a plan. Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the assessment? Since the successful candidate is duty-bound to implement their plan after taking office, their manifesto tells us whoever is secretly helping JOKI must be seeking to benefit from his actions after his appointment. So, we should be able to find some hints in JOKI's manifesto on who we're dealing with. Come on, let's get back to...
Kocak, lupa lagi.
JOKI's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. Looking for details that don't add up? I'll divide the reports into two piles. You take one, I'll take the other. Officially, the assessment is already over, and I'll be expected to announce the results before long. So we have to get to the bottom of this as...
Yikes! We better hurry!
Whatever else Uncle Tien might think of JOKI, the fact remains that any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious. We'll have to look carefully.
Halo, Richie Fatan. Selamat datang, welcome. Benang kematian. Benang kematian.
Even though Yelan took half, this is still a lot to get through. Well...
Skip. Lama nih story quest.
Oh, this reading is...
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers! If you're back, that means you...
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I always had another trick up my sleeve.
Diusir.
Don't drag this out. Just tell...
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Qianwei will start out complaining about how proud and arrogant he is, but then go on to give a generally positive appraisal of him. The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Qianwei appears arrogant, but he's very scrupulous in the way he works. Once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any way you can check the accounts of the...
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's the thing. I asked around and found out that almost all of Qianwei, where he buys from and sells to, should be confidential business information, but he doesn't seem interested in protecting it at all. Qianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it. It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares...
What a strange guy. It's like he's not doing business to make mora.
To validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights.
I'm back! Huh?
Why do you think? Obviously, because I possess superior skills, and
Sama
am
aja
always
dia.
one step ahead of the competition.
You... Ugh, whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. Lady Yelan, I have finished investigating...
Well, we're all...
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Mingbua struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous, especially when he's chatting with strangers. But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him. On the whole, the feedback from the Ministry of Civil Affairs was very positive. He always considers the things that everyone else over...
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs' appraisal of Mingbo...
I don't believe so. Mingbo is someone who has slowly but surely earned the reputation he has today. According to Miss Yu, the ministry often gets Mingbo to take a final look at projects before they're implemented. People feel much more confident in something if it... Oh, and also, there was once someone in the ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Mingbo gave them the scolding of a lifetime.
Whoa. That...
Like I said before, things are not always as they appear.
Ah! So that's what you meant.
Thank you both. You're free to go now. So, have you finished? I can't see any immediate problems looking at the individual entries. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual is the Cheongshu Pool redevelopment plan. Cheongshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there, so there are even more secrets buried deep underground.
Apa ini? Oh, yang itu, Kisupul yang itu. Tahu-tahu.
At some point, a rumor began to go around that there is great treasure buried beneath. A long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing, a mining team conducted and explored.
So, did they find any treasure?
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable. The only way they could have gotten through the solid rock would have been by blowing it open with a special kind of explosion. The technology wasn't mature enough at that time, so the excavation project was shut down and the treasure became a mere legend. JOKI's manifesto focuses on solving problems, and this treasure hunt seems... Still, this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Everyone wants to get their hands on this treasure. The treasure hoarders, the Fatui, even local Liyue factions. Did you find...
Excavation? Project? Treasure? Did we read anything similar in our half of... Oh yeah! Juri said the Blackcliff Forge workers should get right of first refusal if...
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much clearer. So Juri wants the Blackcliff Forge to excavate the treasure of Cheongshu.
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge is Juri's...
No, not likely. I've looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They aren't involved with any powerful factions at present. They do possess some specialized explosives, but it would seem more trouble than it's worth to put so many resources into a risky project like... Still, since the clues are pointing toward the Blackcliff Forge, we should see where they lead. We may well find...
Blackcliff Forge.
Shenwei and Mingbo both turned out to be completely different than what we thought. What about Juri? Is there another...
Kayaknya Blackcliff Forge itu yang ini, yang buat senjata Blackcliff. Sepertinya begitu, tapi nggak tahu juga. Mana ini? Wih, turun. Sejak kapan ada ini? Hah? Baru nyadar loh.
Come with me.
Apa ini?
Let us find shelter from the rain.
Pesan awalnya nggak pernah ada ginian.
This is the Blackcliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
What's this?
From the back, it looks like a ledger. But it seems they also... We don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting, don't you think? These new...
You think they're suspicious?
Yes. Look, it says right there, one of them's already been At this rate, by the time the Cheongshu Pool redevelopment plan is ready to roll, they'll be the technical backbone of the team. That'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. They can copy any secret texts or steal any treasure they find underground. Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time JOKI recommends the Blackcliff Forge for the excavation project, at most we would maybe do a fresh background check on them. No red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided to vet the staff individually, they'd have had more than enough time by then to come up with fake ID. That's the advantage of planning this far in advance.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense. If we hadn't found this out, someone else would have stolen the treasure. So, who's really behind all?
That's a question for the newcomers. But
Excuse us. We wanna...
You want them to teach you or... I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. Fast learners, too. My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking at night. I guess they just need some time to adjust. I'm sure we'll get to know each other.
They go out drinking. This area isn't exactly renowned for the nightlife. I'm guessing...
You got that right. They tell me they go all the way back to Liu. It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. But as soon as the rain stopped, they went out drinking again. Right? Hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if they can hack it, let them at it.
Interesting. Looks like our hunch was on the Mora. These newcomers are very... Drinking in Liu Harbor, huh? Some cover story. Huh? Good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints. I doubt they'd give themselves away that easily, but...
Kemana tuh? Kok kesana?
They went that way. Hurry, we gotta catch up.
Tuh, oh mereka. Kukira udah hilang.
These footprints are heading towards Liu Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liu Harbor. They went that way.
Sana kah? Kemana? Oh, sana bener.
The footprints stop here. But, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination was... Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers... Look at these ash...
Could there be anything left? Maybe
The odds of that...
Why don't we wait?
We can't count on... To me?
Darn!
Make no mistake, I smelled something Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters.
Really? Paimon can't smell anything.
There is a certain place with some wealthy people there put floral fragrance when that fragrant ink is burned. Exactly. The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, but it's all I need.
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you again.
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and Shanghua's colleague. I sent him to look into JOKI's regular contacts. Since JOKI likes fishing, Upei thought he might know some of the fishermen and sailors. I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Blackcliff Forge when he got back. If there'd been an ambush waiting for us there... So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty. I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with JOKI before. Then the waves got so choppy I ended up falling overboard. When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Blackcliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there as fast as I could. Didn't even stop to change my...
Well, Uncle Tien said that Zhi once bought a recipe from one of the fishermen. Did you hear anything?
What? That's news to me. No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan, I'm telling you, I spoke to every single fisherman out there, and none of them mentioned anything about a recipe.
Interesting. Then I wonder how that even more wonderful fish...
Fish soup?
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on... Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upe, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Zhi, but the guy's too cautious. Never meets with anyone suspicious.
Okay, so tailings.
No, we'll still need to tail him. But first, we need to do some groundwork.
Groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay on high alert forever. Especially when he thinks he's about to win.
Sebentar adik-adik, aku akan segera kembali. Oke, saya kembali.
Tomorrow morning I'll announce his victory. Be sure to arrive on time. You won't...
Wih, udah mau air 59 nih. Dikit lagi. Oh, kurang 12.000 coy. Atau nggak 13.000. Jam berapa tadi? 9. Terus ke mana? Yohai Pavilion.
Come with me. Let us find shelter from the rain.
Kota Liwe coy. Tuh, mantap.
It looks like we're all here. Well, I won't drone on about the importance of the Tianshu role. Suffice to say that Uncle Tian entrusted me with the monumentally important task of assessing the candidates. And now, it falls to me to give him a satisfactory...
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush, just get on with it.
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas, but some of his plans are lacking in detail. Mingbo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough. And because of his personality, he struggles to win people. In
Bentar ya
contrast,
adik-adik.
Zhi is evenly balanced across the board and enjoys an excellent reputation in Liyue.
Oke, saya kembali.
After much consideration, I have decided to recommend Zhi to the Liyue Chief.
What?
Oh,
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised. In my estimation, all three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. As your competitor, I've become keenly aware of your great talents. Would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future and taking on some of my workload?
I'll have to see. I'm in a bad mood. This is the last thing I want.
I don't mind, as long as I can help.
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi, you'll have some preparation to do. It won't be long before you're informed of your official appointment. I hope you...
I will live up to the Tianshu name. On this, you have my word. I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think a celebratory meal is in order.
Count me out. I'm not in the...
Zhi seems pretty relaxed now. This would be a good...
Hey, traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that I don't? If you can't answer that, I'm not accepting this result.
Gak terima.
I, also wouldn't...
Oh no, if we get stuck here, we won't be able to...
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally got...
Lady Yelan, Jury
Gak
has gone
terima,
towards
coy.
Feiyun Slope.
Follow him, quickly.
So Zhi really sided with the Fatui?
Wih, Fatui coy.
him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say, but everything should become a lot clearer when we find him.
I'm sorry, Lady Yelan. We lost him. He's too good at this. We weren't able to keep following him without being seen.
How the heck did he manage to shake Yelan's sport? I guess Juri didn't let his guard down.
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's wired. Perceptive enough to sense when he's being watched.
But how?
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tian himself. Evading detection is not enough. If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tian, you'd have ended up at a dead end too. It's fine. So, where did you lose him?
Xinyue kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I were watching outside the whole time. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him, but we couldn't get close enough to check without blowing our cover. I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo what we've accomplished today so far. Another option would have been to arrest him there and then, but without any evidence, that would have been meaningless. So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead went to ask around in Xinyue kiosk.
Malah masuk.
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but that's okay. As long as he's still swimming around, we'll find a way to catch him eventually. Let's go to Xinyue kiosk.
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit right under your nose, and you don't even ask him about it?
Our customers are free to dress however they please. What grounds would I...
Okay, fair enough, but didn't you think it was just a little bit strange?
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me the right to stop him.
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one question.
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up a bottle of liquor that he...
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery, with a rich flavor. Not
Mer
something the
Amer.
average customer would order. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago. He was only here today to pick...
Liquor and wineware. I see.
Where to?
Shigu Antiques.
Loadingnya lama bener nih. Oh, udah.
Hey, Miss Linlong. Sorry to bother you. Juri ordered a wanware set from you not long ago, right? We're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the quality, considering how affordable it was. So we just had...
Sure. Which model are you looking for?
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware. Let's just go with
Juri picked up his set not long ago. As a quality imitation of an antique wineware set, it has the look and... Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock. And now that Mr. Juri has taken one,
Don't worry. Price shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure we can work something out. But I'm just a little hazy on one thing.
For this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum purchase is 1 glass, maximum is 4. Mr. Juri.
Okay. Thanks, Linlong. Seems there's a little more to buying wineware than I first...
Well, don't
Belinya
take
rep.
too long. We could sell out any day now. All right.
This is turning into a real headache.
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grandmaster of Fieldwork here to thank for being wholly incapable of tailing an ordinary civilian without being seen.
It's not like you did any better.
My specialty is information trading, okay? I don't have the physical agility. What's your excuse?
Fair point.
Yelan, so has the plan failed? Oh, if we can't figure out where Jerry went, there's not much we can do. But why was he buying liquor at Shinui?
If so, it's no ordinary celebration.
Beda.
What do you mean?
First of all, Jerry isn't much of a drinker.
Tukang minum.
On some level, he hates alcohol because of what it did to his father. If he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his meager savings on an expensive bottle of alcohol, let alone buy a pair of special wine. No, this is a victory feast, held in honor of Jerry's private sponsor. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor and has a very high status, hence the need for expensive-looking wineware. Now, where might we find Fatui who match that description, I wonder?
Fatui officials. Should be either the Snezhnayan Embassy or the Northland.
Have both locations surrounded. Take as many people as you need.
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make our move? If so...
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance operation. Jury may be vigilant, but that doesn't mean the same is true for... In which case, we don't need to change tactics. Just change who we're following.
Great idea! So we just need...
But Lady Yelan, if we get caught, this could become a major
I'm well aware, but don't you see? Jury is gambling everything on this. If we really want to catch him, we're going to have to accept a little risk. Stick to your orders, and make sure we're covering all other bases too. Anywhere else Jury might be going. I want eyes on those locations.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady Yelan. Jur-E may be a slippery character, but we'll keep a close watch on the movements of all Fatui officials.
I'll be waiting for you at the tea house. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely to take action at night. You should go and get ready. Then meet me at Yenshang Tea House.
Okay.
Perfect timing. Wenyuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupov, just left the embassy
Yusupov
alone.
namanya, kocak.
He's heading in the direction of Qingshu Pool.
Qingshu Pool? That's the place...
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Sensible. Qingshu Pool is always crawling with monsters. Most people wouldn't dream of going there. It's one place they won't need to...
Oh no, we gotta go get...
Let's go. If my hunch is correct.
Cepat. Aduh, jauh banget lagi.
This is Qingshu Pool, full of ruins, crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear of this place. I've looked into the place before. There's a worker's entrance somewhere around here. Follow me.
Sebentar. Oh, nggak jadi. Ke situ nih. Salah. Mana sih? Ini dasar horror adanya.
There's been some work done on this place in the past, but it's a bit of a labyrinth inside. The workers left an emergency access route. If we can find it, this will be a much easier journey. Still, be ready to fight at any moment.
Don't worry, we're up by the way.
They have other things to take care of first.
Domain. Oke, lanjut. Pakai Diuna.
Need my help as usual?
I can do it.
Gotcha.
Let me weave you a verse. Rain outlines your fate.
Think you can bully me? Animo test 6308.
Take flight.
As I expected. But this shouldn't be too much trouble.
Gampang biasa dia sih. Sombong amat sombong.
I see that. That's gotta be the Fatui ambassador. That must be the emergency.
Apa ini? Oke. Oh, naik.
Absorption test. Swirl. Mark 2. Scratch that.
Rain cutter. Time to act.
Ini apa nih? Wih. Terus gunanya apa? Ini juga pasang sini kah? Oh iya bener. Wah. Gak paham coy.
The water's gone down. Hey, look.
Oh, airnya surut. Oh iya deh. Ini apa ini? Nggak ada apa-apaan. Ini nih. Ada apa di sini?
Rain outlines your fate.
Quietly now.
Sakit coy. Apa aku gajailan kali ya? Tapi masih pengen Kazuha, kocak. Oh ini nih. Macet.
Gotcha. Witness the power of the walk.
Macet lagi. Wah ini. Nah, ada chest. Nggak dapet primo lagi. Ada chest lagi nih. Ini apa? Hah, apa tadi? Walah. Oh, oke. Ngerti. Mantep cuy. Terus turun kah?
Water's flowed into the groove, and now the statues have lit up. Okay, now we should be able to move the statues.
Nah, iya bener. Suruh gerakin. Wah, lagi nih kan. Gampang lah ini. Nggak jadi gampang. Oh, gampang. Loh, kok ke situ sih? Sana weh. Nah, oke. Wadah.
The door is open. Let's go.
We should be nearly at the bottom now. Let's wrap this up. Here comes the carrot. Quietly now.
Scratch that. Can't handle your drink.
Let me weave you a purse. No, my sword. My apologies.
Mantap ninggalin sama Sinju. Kalau digabung. Apa ini? Wah, dananya kecil coy. Oke, sampai.
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine liquor indeed. Come on, bottoms up.
Oh, sorry, that went...
You'll get there. If you want to stay friends with us, you have to...
I'll do my best.
You're more of a lightweight than I thought. I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup. Come on, another round. Less talking.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers down my spine. I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a few days.
Look, I know it has not been easy for you, my friend. We appreciate all your hard work. But I have to say, you really are quite a genius at I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible, slow-acting poison and came up with the idea of delivering it through... What was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralizes the pungency of the poison.
It struck me one day when I was fishing.
Ilham. Ilham.
Otherwise, I'm not sure I would have been able to fool Uncle Tien.
You have performed excellently. The Fatui will continue to provide the support you need to consolidate your position as Tien. Aside from Qingshu Pool, we also have some other requests for you, which we will inform you of.
Don't worry. Whatever tasks you have for me, I will perform them diligently.
Did you hear that? It was poison. That's why Uncle Tien hasn't been feeling well recently. What a nasty guy.
Hold on. Did you bring a camera? If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to cap...
Excellent. We've seen no progress on the diplomatic front, and everyone has been eyeing up the treasure of. But soon, everything will be taken care of. And I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey, do you still...
How could I forget? You said a lowly commoner like me could never be seen as a serious candidate. The only way is for you to shine bright in the Tianshu's darkest moment.
Yes. Under normal circumstances, the gap between you and other people could only ever grow. Just look at your two competitors. Qianwei had wealth. Mingbo had reputation. But you had nothing.
Kayak dibacotin.
You were just a nut, and that's why I decided to help you. You know, there's an old saying in the Fatui. Give a starving dog a bone, and it'll guard your...
Yes, I can...
You know, the best thing about... heck, when you're not in the company of the Fatui, you'll be able to throw your...
Uncle Gao said that JOKI has low self-esteem. Seems he was right. He was worried that whatever advantage he might have now will diminish over time. So, do you have any more film in the camera? Then get ready to use it. Tonight's grand finale should be... How well this goes for us depends on how JOKI plays his hand.
Ooh, is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up. I'm in a good mood today, and I'm gonna...
There's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it...
Whoa, this is the good stuff. Huh?
Diracunin.
JOKI, you
seem surprised, Mr.
You...
How could I not? I've sacrificed years of my life studying and reflecting to prepare myself. You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your little puppet?
You imbecile. It's the Fatui who got you to where you are. Do you understand? If I disappear with no explanation...
Do you see the haystack in the corner? Underneath it is a pile of explosives. And next door in the dark room are the 3 undercover agents you sent to infiltrate the Black Cliff Forge. I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the explosives.
What?
I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots. 2 missing person cases will become 1. The Fatui planted undercover agents in the Black Cliff Forge to steal their signature ruin-grade explosives. Their plan was to blow through the solid floor tiles in the dead of night and seize the treasure of Qingshu Pool. But things didn't quite go to plan. Mistakes were made that faced with the overwhelming evidence, the embassy won't investigate this any further. In fact, they'll be only too happy to blame. It explains why you acted alone, while exonerating the rest of the embassy of any liability. Of course, none of that will have anything to do with me. When all of this comes to my attention, I'm afraid I'll have no choice but to cancel the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan immediately. I guess then, I'll be Tianshu in my own right, with a clean record and
JOKI, do you really think you're gonna get away with this? The Fatui has a record of everything. That includes the poison. After I die, they'll come looking, and they'll get to the bottom.
A record? Oh, you must mean the one in the... Because when you contacted me, I also made contact with your associates. I have Theophan to thank for providing me with the poison I used on you today. He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, your untimely demise comes with a few perks for him. He has been eyeing your position for a...
That traitor!
Shh. Relax. It's over. After tonight, sweet dreams, Mr.
Buset kejam. Mampus.
I did a little surveying on the way here and found that you'd left yourself 3 escape routes in case things went south. I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, save yourself the up. We were here the whole time and have pictures of everything. They came out pretty nicely.
The game's up? Forgive me, I'm not quite sure what you're... I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces and eventually brought them down from within. If it pleases you, Miss Yelan, I'd be only too happy to have you join me in
This is how you want to play it, huh? Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is establish that the poison in his system is the same as it... Nothing else you wanted to add? Let's leave it there then.
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. You followed him here, didn't you? I was so focused on keeping myself out of sight, I forgot he was a potential liability. Let's talk about this, Yelan. I gave you my word that I would live up to the Tianshu name, and that much I can still guarantee.
Your point being?
When I take office, I can guarantee that I will act in your best interests. In fact, all of you here tonight can... I don't deny that I used underhanded methods to get here. But given my lowly origins, what other choice did I...
You still don't get it, do you? Even... What do you think? Exactly. JOKI, clever people can always come up with a good excuse. But while you might be able to get other... There's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect, but when has Uncle Tien ever looked down on you? He was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that by poisoning him. Whatever positive goal you...
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself there was no other way. Uncle Tien was always going to give you this opportunity. Even if you'd done nothing, out of everyone in the world, he is the one who trusts you the most. So much that he drank your fish soup without doubting you, not for 1 second.
That's enough!
Life is
Not
like
mental.
fishing. It cannot be rushed. Whatever you do, impatience will accomplish nothing. I was just like you once, desperate to prove myself. Only later did I realize things do not always turn out the way you plan, but you have to keep calm to carry on. You're still young. Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't look outside yourself to prove your value. Where's Jury these days? It's been a long time since he last paid me a visit.
Maybe he's just busy.
Well, next time, if he doesn't bring a pot of piping hot fish soup, don't let him in.
Whatever you were thinking about, you'll have plenty of time to mull it over in prison. Oh, I almost forgot. If the Fatui find out what happened today, prison might not turn out to be the safest place for you. Trying to have friends on both sides, it has a way of turning everyone against you. But right now, I have an opportunity for you.
Huh?
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. Let's meet at Yanshang Tea House. I'll have someone remove the explosives. Then, there's someone I have to go and see.
Need our help with that?
No, it could be dangerous. You should leave this one. Don't worry. As long as they're willing to cooperate, get some rest.
Mantap. Ngecas aja dia. Besok jam 8. Sip.
There is now no poison left in his system, but recovery from the damage already done will not happen overnight.
Dr. Baiju, is my father going to be...
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine every day. It's good we caught it in time. A few days later and the toxin would have built up in the internal organs.
How did they successfully secure such a seldom-seen poison? It seems the Fatui are unfortunately for them, they were up against...
Uncle Tien will be heading off now. Remember to get plenty of rest and avoid overexerting yourself while you're recovering.
Don't worry, I will. Thank you very much.
You're here too? Thank you for all you've done to resolve.
Yes, the exhaustion seems to have gone.
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing...
Hey, Yelan!
My work is mostly wrapped up, so I thought I'd take a minute to check in here. The assessment process comes to an end here, Uncle Tien. In my opinion, JOKI is not suitable for the position, but...
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalties easily.
Is it just Paimon, or is Uncle Tien not that...
Don't underestimate Uncle Tien. He wouldn't have appointed me as assessment officer if he hadn't had his doubts about JOKI. Normally, the UID Pavilion would be responsible for assessing the candidates. Isn't that right, Uncle Tien?
Yes, to be quite honest, I wanted to trust him unreservedly. But when I first met Juri, I wondered if he had approached me with a hidden agenda. So I secretly investigated. I concluded that he had no ulterior motives whatsoever. In the end, even he changed. But when did it start? I never had any plans to recommend him directly, but I had no reputation to speak of when I first became Tianshu. I relied on Ganyu's assistance for all manner of things.
I have to admit, he's a smart guy, and the intel suggests that the Fatui saw him as very low risk, but JOKI was still extremely careful with the poisoning. He chose that specific liquor from Shinue Kiosk because the fiery flavor would mask the bitterness of the poison, and he chose to wait until the Fatui official was drunk and had his guard down before delivering it to him. He also installed a secret compartment in the wine pot he bought to hold the poison. As the amount of liquor went down, he'd shake the pot to release the poison from the compartment into the liquor. Afterwards, we also found he had an antidote on him. Had the Fatui official grown suspicious, JOKI would have drunk the poisoned wine himself, and then found an opportunity to take the antidote short.
But that's still really dangerous.
Yes. Had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still would have faced serious health consequences despite taking the antidote. He didn't hesitate to put himself in harm's way to achieve.
How is Juri?
Well, I mean, he is sitting in a jail cell. Like Yanfei says, everyone who breaks the law has... Still, he's cooperating. He didn't turn down my offer to strike a deal. I'll make sure there are plenty of guards around to keep him safe from anything the Fatui might be planning.
A deal? Does this have to do with what you said to him when you arrested him?
Yes, Juri's not the one I'm interested in. If he was as far as this went, I'd have handed the case off to my subordinate. But once the Fatui became involved, things got a whole lot more interesting. I thought I might have the chance.
Well, did you?
Almost. Unfortunately, it slipped off the.
Uncle Tian? Yeon? What are you talking about?
Gak ngerti.
Paimon doesn't understand.
Jur-E colluded with the Fatui to try and secure the position of Tianshu. Or, to put it the other way around, the Fatui made an attempt to interfere in the... With Yusupov in our hands, and a statement from Jur-E, we could afford to continue with a diplomatic offensive. Also, we'd be able to gain control of Theophan, Yusupov's second-in-command. Then we'd have a pawn in the ranks of the Fatui. Pawns like this can be major assets. They open up all sorts of new options.
Apa benar Wardana? Hoki.
Why else did you think I was investing?
So, okay, well, did your plan succeed?
We got halfway. The first part went off without a hitch, and we passed all the information on to Lady Ningguang. But when we tried to make contact with Theophan, he was gone, along with all the evidence.
The Fatui must be spying on us. Otherwise, they'd never been able to respond so quickly.
I found out from other sources that the Harbinger Regrator got involved. The Fatui's main forces aren't concentrated here. Regrator was only treating this as a peripheral concern. It's a pity that Theophan got away. But knowing which Harbingers are still looking at Liyue is something. It gives me a starting point for my next mission.
Coy.
I have to ask, Yelan, do you have any desire to take over the position of... I remember you showed some interest a few days ago at Yenshang Tea House.
Oh, that. I was obviously joking. I prefer my current life. There's danger and there's excitement. Although it'd still be a behind-the-scenes role. As Tianshu, I wouldn't have the chance to get involved in anything truly clandestine or... All right, I'm done here. Time for me to go. I'm heading...
Where are you off to this time?
As you might have guessed. But I'm sure if you keep going as you are, getting yourselves involved in other people's business all the time, you're sure to get... Maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. A lot of people are watching you for a lot of reasons. If you have any more questions, just ask Uncle Tian. After the recent turn of events...
Selesai kah? Akhirnya. Selesai juga. Ilmuku berapa nih? Nah, mantap. Baik, kita lihat formnya dulu. Udah ada yang ngisi kah? Loh. Si Rehan. Oke, sekarang ngapain? Bingung coy. Ada quest gak? Nah, paling ini malas nih. Oh ya. Ada event baru lagi kah? Ini nggak ada, ini aja deh. Kenapa Barbara?
Let's dance.
Lompat tuh.
Worthless. Disappear. Worthless.
Worthless.
Easy boy. Sip, kelar. Mantap. Primoku sekarang. Oke. Bisa berapa kali pull nih? Ini 1, 2, 3. Oh, baru 3. 30. Ya, paling 40 lah. Kalau di event lagi. Sama bulan depan kan kalau nggak salah habis ini tuh 2,8 Akazuha, terus siapa, Keizu, Yoimiya sama Klee kayaknya. Tapi ya semoga Kazuha lah ya, mau cepet-cepet Kazuha cuy, butuh. Sudah guys ya, nggak tahu mau ngapain lagi. Gue edit dulu sampai di sini. Makasih udah mampir sama udah support channel ini. Ya,